Welcome to the story of the element girl Phosphorus from family 15 or the Pnictogen family with atomic number 15. Last week at school, Mole said to me, "I wonder why phosphorus is present in fertilizers." Atom, could we visit Phosphorus and ask her? Given Mole's passion for gardening and her family's bustling nursery, it made perfect sense. Ion and Isaac were also curious to learn more about phosphorus, so we decided to embark on this adventure together. So the four of us met in my house that Saturday morning. I had set up the periodic table on the garage wall. 4 eager hands pressed on phosphorus, and soon, amidst the whirling and swirling, we were transported to a place that seemed truly magical. We found ourselves in a small clearing in a forest where a cozy cottage sat with a wisp of smoke rising from its chimney. The front of the cottage was adorned with thick bushes full of flowers and berries, and the backyard was filled with numerous apple trees bearing gleaming red apples. Amongst the flower beds, we saw a woman working in her garden. Her hair was covered in what looked like a moisture-laden cap, dripping water to the ground, and she had 2 tiny horns poking through the cap. Her dress seemed more suited for a dance floor than gardening, being deep reddish black with sparkles emanating from her shoulders. A magical being, I mused. Hearing us without looking up, she said in a chirpy voice, "Welcome to Black Forest, Germany. I am Phosphorus." All of us leapt with joy, realizing that we were in the magical Black Forest. She lifted up her head and gazed at us with a twinkle in her eyes. Ion wondered aloud, "Were you discovered by a German scientist?" Phosphorus responded, "I was discovered by a German alchemist." Then, pointing to a bag of fertilizer on the ground, she asked us to read the brand name on it. All of us read aloud, "Hennig Brand." Phosphorus continued, "Hennig Brand was an alchemist from Hamburg, Germany. His goal was to find the philosopher's stone, which could turn any base metal into gold. Everyone loves gold," she said, rolling her eyes. Anyway, to achieve his goal, Brand boiled gallons and gallons of urine. She paused, hearing all of us scream questioningly, "Urine?" Noticing the expression of disgust on our faces, she shrugged and nodded her head. "Yes, urine." She continued, "Brand hypothesized that the yellow fluid may contain the golden yellow element gold. So he collected about 1,500 gallons of urine, apparently from beer drinkers. Then he boiled it for a long period of time until it turned into not gold, but a white, waxy substance that glowed in the dark. So in 1669, he named the substance phosphorus, which means light bearer in Greek." Then, pointing to the horns that poked through her cap, she remarked, "You see, I was the 13th discovered element, so some folks refer to me as the devil's element." Mole said quietly, "You seem too nice to be devilish." Also, is phosphorus still extracted from urine? Phosphorus laughed heartily for a moment and then replied, "No, I'm produced from phosphate rocks, which are found in various parts of the world. But my element symbol is P. Get it?" We all laughed, and I appreciated her sense of humor. I noticed the colors of red, black, and purple on her clothes, and I asked, "The colors you're wearing, they have some significance, right?" Taking a deep breath, Phosphorus replied, "Yes." She pointed to some safety goggles, masks, and protective clothing neatly piled on a bench at the entrance to the garden. "Please put on the safety gear and stand back for a few minutes." We quickly complied, and as soon as we were ready, she removed her wet cap. Her waxy white hair tumbled down to her shoulders, gleaming. Suddenly, a big flame erupted from her hair, and her face transformed into an unfriendly, almost devilish look. A garlicky odor filled the air, and we screamed in horror. Amidst our screams, she cried out in a threatening voice, starkly different from her previous friendly tone. White phosphorus is not only poisonous, but also flammable upon contact with air. This is my devilish side. The surroundings glowed in the light, and she looked like a creature out of a fantasy book, with fire on her head and glowing eyes. Slowly, she put her water-dripping cap back on, snuffing out the fire. Her face became calm and friendly again, and we sighed with relief. Isaac asked, "So is white phosphorus stored underwater?" Phosphorus said quietly, "Yes, white phosphorus is stored underwater. Without this water barrier, white phosphorus would react with the oxygen in the air to form phosphorus pentoxide. P2O5 is the empirical formula, and P4O10 is the molecular formula for phosphorus pentoxide, releasing heat, creating fire, and potentially causing severe burns. Unfortunately, some people use the power of white phosphorus in war to cause harm. It is such a shame." We were silent for a moment as Phosphorus resumed working her garden. Ion broke the silence, asking, "How are there so many colors of phosphorus?" Pausing her work, Phosphorus replied, "These are my allotropes, as I exist in many forms. When white phosphorus is heated to about 250 degrees C in the absence of air, it becomes the less toxic red phosphorus that you see on matchboxes. Black phosphorus can be made by heating white phosphorus under high pressures or recrystallizing red phosphorus from molten lead. It is not very reactive, it is shiny, and has a crystalline structure. The purple version can be made by heating red phosphorus at high temperatures in a sealed tube, producing another crystalline form." We listened in awe, fascinated by the various allotropic forms of phosphorus. Moore pointed to the sack of fertilizer on the ground and asked, "Why do fertilizers contain phosphorus compounds?" Wiping water from her face, Phosphorus replied, "My sister nitrogen and I are vital elements for the growth of healthy plants. During photosynthesis, plants absorb light energy and store it in ATP or adenosine triphosphate molecules. As you can tell from the name, I am an important component of this molecule. No wonder you always see me hanging around in my garden. However, I must add that too much fertilizer is not a good idea, as it can hurt the plants and harm nearby water sources." Mole asked, "How and why?" Phosphorus responded, "Too much fertilizer can harm plants by causing nutrient imbalances and root damage. It can also pollute nearby water sources, leading to harmful algal blooms and oxygen depletion in aquatic ecosystems, which affects water quality and endangers aquatic life." I asked, "We use phosphate-free detergents at home. How does that help?" Phosphorus answered, "Phosphates soften hard water and enhance the cleaning power of detergents, which is why they are added. However, they cause environmental pollution, so manufacturers have started phasing out phosphates in detergents, which is a positive step." Looking at our eager, appreciative faces, she continued, "I'm also important to the health of all living beings. There are about 750 grams of phosphorus in adult human bodies, most of it in bones and teeth as calcium phosphate." I then noticed why her dress sleeve had bone images etched on it. Rattling her dangling double helix earrings with her fingers, Phosphorus added, "Yes, I am in DNA and RNA, the fundamental molecules of life. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is the genetic blueprint, and RNA, or ribonucleic acid, plays crucial roles in various cellular processes. Together, these nucleic acids ensure the continuity and vitality of living systems. Ion asked, "So, do we get phosphorus by eating plants?" Phosphorus responded, "Yes, and also from legumes, dairy, eggs, meat, nuts, etc." Pointing to a soda can on the ground, Isaac asked, "Is there phosphorus in sodas?" Phosphorus replied, "Phosphorus is found in sodas in the form of phosphoric acid, H3PO4. It gives the tart flavor to sodas and also increases its shelf life. However, one should consume sodas only in moderation." We nodded. Soon we heard a cuckoo clock chime 4 times from inside her cottage. Phosphorus abruptly got up and put away her gardening tools and purple gloves neatly on a shelf in the garden. Turning around with a broad smile, she declared, "Time for tea." With excitement, we followed her into a large, tidy kitchen where the aroma of fresh-baked bread filled the air. A golden brown loaf with garlic cloves awaited us on the dining table, while more bread baked in the oven. Delicate fine china cups and saucers were neatly arranged on a side table. After washing and drying our hands, ready for tea and bread, we volunteered to help, allowing Phosphorus to relax at the dining table. As we enjoyed the delicious bread and tea, we learned that fine china contained calcium phosphate and baking powder contained monocalcium phosphate. With applause and satisfaction, we finished every morsel of the yummy bread. Phosphorus then pulled out warm loaves of garlic bread from the oven, offering them for us to bring home. Gratefully accepting, we wrapped them in brown paper, realizing it was time to return home. We thanked Phosphorus profusely for sharing her story with us and for her hospitality. As she bid us farewell at the door, water dripped down her face from her water-soaked cap, and sparkles of light erupted from the sleeves of her dress. Ion couldn't help but comment, "Those sparkles on your dress look like tiny fireworks." Smiling, Phosphorus replied, "That's because phosphorus pentoxide, P2O5, in combination with other chemicals, is used to create those bright, colorful sparks in fireworks." As we stepped away from her cottage, a swirl of magic enveloped us. In the blink of an eye, we found ourselves back in my home. While savoring more of the warm bread generously baked by Phosphorus, we reflected on how her presence had truly brought sparkle to our day. There you have it, the story of Phosphorus from the Magical Periodic Table and the Element Girls Book 5, Family 15, the Pnictogens. Happy learning. Thank you.